I'm Nick with Fire Wrangler, and today we're cooking with Cowboy. And what better way to cook with Cowboy than a big old Cowboy tomahawk steak over live fire on a Santa Maria grill. Let's get this fire rolling. When you're cooking over Santa Maria, a lot of people just use straight wood. We like to fire it up with some good charcoal before. It just gets the process going a lot faster. But then we're gonna put wood on, so we got some hickory wood. That coal we just dumped, we're just gonna spread it out so it catches all the other coals. A Santa Maria cooker is different than a normal kettle grill. It takes a lot longer for that heat to kind of gather up, for all that charcoal to get lit. So you really want to prepare your fire about 45 minutes to an hour ahead of time and have some extra charcoal and extra wood on hand to keep that fire going, because there's so much airflow that can get into a big pit like this. It does burn through the charcoal and it does burn through the wood. So have a good stash of fuel because you're going to use it. And when you cook with Cowboy, you got to cook Cowboy style, right? Now when you're cooking Cowboy style, things get a little unconventional. So we pull out the big guns. We got to drill a hole in these bones because these are going to hang over that fire for at least 2 or 3 hours. They're nice and thick. They're going to pick up a lot of smoke. Let's get these things drilled. When you're cooking tomahawks, you want to let that meat shine through. It's good meat, it's expensive meat, so you don't want anything that's going to cover it up. We're doing a salt, pepper, garlic blend called Cattle Call from Fire Wrangler today. You can smell that herb, you can smell that citrus. It's a thick cut of meat. You can go real generous with it. And we don't use a binder because we're gonna be basting it with an oil-based marinade. Let's put it over that Cowboy charcoal. While this tomahawk is hanging over fire, it could have the tendency to burn out. So what I like to do is prepare a liquid oil-based marinade that we're just gonna continue to brush over this tomahawk about every 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. If it starts to look like it's gonna dry out, it's gonna add a bunch of flavor to the outside. It's still gonna let the meat shine through, but it's all these different umami flavors that really let it pop. So I like to start by taking finely chopped garlic. Sounds a little weird, but we're adding some anchovies as well. Anchovies just have that umami, they have that salt in them. They're really, really gonna make that flavor jump. And then I take some kosher salt, I mix that in, and I kind of make a board paste with it. So I'll take my knife and incorporate all those things together. The salt draws out the moisture in the anchovies and the garlic. Just kind of keep going until you have a paste. Keep pushing and smashing, kind of using the edge of your knife to not necessarily chop, but kind of draw the ingredients together. All right, once we got all that together, it goes into the bowl. Into this bowl, I'm also throwing some capers. Again, tons of flavor. Some finely chopped parsley, and about half a lemon's worth of zest. If you like a little bit more lemon, you're welcome to put more in. Now we come in with our liquid. Got some red wine vinegar, got all our olive oil, and lastly, just a little bit of honey to sweeten it up. Stir and incorporate all that. Don't be afraid to use your fork and smash some of those capers down as well. They baste on a little bit easier when they're smashed. Now here's the trick with this. We're gonna reserve about half of this because later on, when this steak is all done, it's all sliced and it looks beautiful, we can drizzle this over the top of it. It's gonna work great. The other half is gonna become our basting liquid that's gonna go on these tomahawks while they're hanging to add all that extra flavor. One trick I like to do if you got some good rosemary in the garden is I like to make a basting brush. It's so aromatic, I mean, you can smell it when you walk up on it. So it just works really good to kind of throw that herb all over that tomahawk. It's real simple. I take cuts about 12 to 14 inches. I lay them out on a board. I get a good wooden spoon and get some butcher twine. You tie it together, leave about 6 or 8 inches on the end, and now we can put this in our marinade, move it around, brush it on top of that steak. Not only are you getting all the flavors from the marinade, you're getting all the flavors from the rosemary as well. Cooking over live fire, you got to remember that oil will cause your fire to flare up, so don't get too close. All those herbs are just going to baste over that. Man, if you could smell what I'm smelling right now. These have hit the temperature I want. They're about 115 to 118. It's perfect. I want them on the rare side because when we sear it, we want to bring it up to that medium rare we want. We don't want to take it there and then just blow past it. So we're going to take these and rest them for probably 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to use that Cowboy charcoal and get it ripping hot so we have an awesome fire base to sear these. I'm going about 30 to 40 seconds aside. I'm going to coat it with oil, then I'm going to flip it and keep going back and forth until I like that crust. Visually is key, but you don't want to overcook it. So if you need to pull your temperature thermometer out, get that 130 to 132 temperature, that's what you're looking for. And now we get to see if what we did paid off. Let's go ahead and slice into it. With all that smoke and a crust like that, you know this is going to be perfect. You can't beat that. If this looks good and you want to make it yourself, check out cowboycharcoal.com for this and more recipes. And as always, keep cooking with Cowboy.